Hi, welcome back to the Baroque Bat. I'm Queenie Black. Still here, still making silly art, funny art every Friday. Today I wanted to talk about art, pretty much, because I've noticed I've noticed a trend where people feel like it's being selfish or it's weird to show art right now. The world is on fire, or it feels like it's on fire anyway. I mean, we get our news 24/7, 65 days a week on this little thing we hold in our hand. Things don't feel calm, they don't feel stable, and it's scary. I do want to say something about that though, because especially those of us that are older, we've been through a lot of scary things. But the difference is now that, like I said, we've got it like this. Like every little thing that changes, it's literally right there within seconds. And our brains cannot take this. We're not meant to be seeing things like this so fast. I mean, yes, it's good to be informed. Absolutely, it's good to be informed. But we've also have a life to live that we were given. It's a lot. But it's times like this that we really need art desperately, because I mean, look, they build buildings with easements to withstand like earthquakes and stuff. Think about that. They make buildings with things that cushion the blow. And we art kind of does that for us as humans. But we're talking about art in all different forms. Music, artwork, the way we dress, the way we express ourselves, the movies we watch. Because it's okay to switch off and to think about things that help regulate you. We're not meant to be like this 24/7. But now what's happening? Now what's happening? Oh my God, now what's happening? No, and then with the overconsumption of coffee on top of that, you guys are going to drive yourself crazy. I don't drink coffee for that very reason. Does it make it harder to create art? Maybe. Because creation of any kind has always been a self regulation tool. It's something, we were always taught. Like, I mean, since caveman times, even, like, I'm sure there's pictures on the walls because they were probably stressed out from some saber-toothed tiger eating all their rocks or something, whatever they ate. And then they had the cave lady artist. I didn't know what an artist was then, but she just drew things on the wall. And they looked at them and they're like, it made them sit and look, and they're like, wow, that's really beautiful. You did that? Yeah, I did that. Of course I did it. What, do you think I can't do it because I'm a lady caveman? No, that's not what I'm saying. I was just didn't know that you could put pictures on walls. That was Tom Caveman. That's what Tom Caveman said. And she's like, well, now you know. If you would have paid attention to me before, you would have known. So, but what did it do? They were confused about this picture that ends up on the cave wall, but they were like, but looking at it, they were like, wow, this is beautiful. And it really makes me sit here for a second and not think about that stupid cave or that stupid saber-toothed tiger trying to get our rocks. I don't know what a saber-toothed tiger would want with rocks, but apparently that's what they did back then. Art is how we process things that are too heavy, And it's proof that someone was here. I mean, everything is art. Everything that a human creates is art. Buildings, surroundings, inventions, artwork, music. It's proof that we're here and that we're alive. It seems like these days, especially, art is treated like it's not a necessity and like it's a luxury. Oh, it's a luxury to sit and draw. It's a luxury to create a song. It's a luxury to make an amazing building. But it's not, but like I said, it's a necessity. It's more of a response because it's something that humans have always done when things fall apart. People have written poems during wars. They've created whole aesthetics around tragedies. I mean, look at graveyards, for instance. Some of the most beautiful artwork is out of tragedy. It's just so important. Otherwise, we're all living in a state of shock, in a state of chaos. Why do you think Disneyland is so popular right now? Because like it says, you enter, and then all the rest of the world disappears. And it's okay to enjoy it. Creating yourself on purpose is important. Otherwise, the world's going to create you for you. And then you'll be living somebody else's life. That's art. Creating the life you want to live is art. I don't know, art is such a general word for everything. Everything that is good and everything that is fun and everything that regulates your emotions. The reason why I'm so strongly against the AI prompting is because of all this. You can type in some words and out pops a beautiful photo or a picture of something that you wanted to see, but is it really you creating it? Or is it the computer telling you this is what you're going to get? And you're going to like it. But then you're always going to be you're always going to be correcting it and trying to get the computer to make it look different, maybe. Prompting it. But as an artist, every tragedy I've been through, every trauma I've been through, every experience bad experience I've been through, I have used art to get out of it. Looking back now, as a kid, when I lost my grandma, who I was extremely close to, that's when I really started to outwardly express, this. And it helped me cope with her loss. And then same with everything else, over the years. I've been on the brink of death, so sick I've been dying, and I've started doing all, always creating something, and then divorce, and then creating, and then loss. My mother passed away a month ago, and I started this. And one reason is because the older we get, we see how precious life is, and then it just slips away like that. I refuse to go with the narrative of feeling guilty for creating, for sharing my art. I'm going to share it even harder because I enjoy creating things so much that I couldn't, if I just watched the news all day or fought with people on the internet all day, I would wither up into a ball. And I've gone through menopause. I'm already withering up into a ball. I don't need everything to bring me down. Life isn't fair, but it's also not fair to not live the life that you are given and to work as hard as you can to make your life the best that you can. This is getting serious, isn't it? The reason why I have such a hard stance on not liking prompting is because when you're creating something and you sit there and you're like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I envision in my head, this is my thing that I have in my head, then I somehow either have to get out on paper, canvas, on the screen, on your body, in your home, out in the world, something, and you draw a blank. And what do you got to do? You got to sit there. And you got to sit there. And you got to sit there. And you wait for it to come. And maybe you put on some music and you wait for it to come. Or maybe you read a book and you wait for it to come. Which is art that other people created when they needed to self-regulate. And you're sitting there like me. Okay, I'm going to draw some. What am I going to do this time? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to do a bat with something, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's not right. And that's not right. And it's not right. It's not turning out right. And you're literally banging your head on the desk because it's not turning out the way you want it to. But all of that emotion is stirring around, and it's stirring your energy like this. And you know what it's doing? It's distracting you from all the crappy things that you're going through. And then you start going with the flow. I mean, sometimes it takes days, hours, days, weeks to come up with an idea. Sometimes it comes like that. I sometimes I go boom, 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 boom with my artwork, and then it goes, and then I move on to something else. Like I'm doing this now, but I still have some art in the background that I'm doing. Anyway, so, and this doesn't have to be, this is, an art doesn't have to be something that you make money off of. So many people think that if I'm going to create this art, so I have to show it and I have to make money. There's lots of things that I've done that I don't sell in my shop or I haven't shown anybody. It's just little creative things. I have little inventions I've done and all kinds of stuff, and nobody's seen it. But it made me feel you know what? Okay, so this is the thing. You're like struggling and struggling and struggling to think of something, and it finally starts to click and it starts to work. And then when it's done, you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. Look at what, and then you've got this thing at the end of this journey you took, trying to figure it out, creating it. And all that time, life was still going on and bad things were happening around you. And maybe you're dealing with bad things, but you were keeping yourself busy, self-regulating, so you don't go off the deep end. This is what it's for. So you don't go off the deep end. And then in turn, when you have something on the other side of all of that work and struggle to make something either beautiful, tragic, intense, if you show it to other people, even if it's one person, it doesn't have to be millions. And someone goes, wow, that's really cool. I like that a lot. And it makes them feel a certain way. So not only is art is for the artist first. If you're creating art for somebody else, if it's not like a job working for somebody else, if you're creating art to get the approval of somebody else, well, for one thing, you'll never grow in whatever field or art you're doing, but you're doing yourself a disservice in the long run, in the experience of what it is to be an artist. Like for me personally, I run my own business because I was like, well, I really like to do this, and I don't want to stop, and I don't know how to do anything else. Like, I can't imagine myself being a crunching numbers gal, or whatever other jobs there are out there. I'd be a really good housekeeper, because I was a housekeeper and a chef and a chauffeur and for my whole life as a housewife. That's what you are. But I'd be really good at those jobs. I could go in a second, and actually I would enjoy cleaning houses because I like to clean. And but I chose to use my artwork to make a living, and it's working. But it's because, you really, when you choose an outside of the box job, you have to work double. So it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication, but what does it do? It makes me feel good and it helps me regulate my life. I love it. I hate it and I love it. I hate it and I love it at the same time. The act of creating, it still changes something in you. And I think that people maybe that are using computers to create images, they don't understand that, or they want what artists are given, but maybe they'll get likes and maybe they get money from things that they've created from it, but it will never give the satisfaction of creation. And people that create things like that, like, that's our main goal, really. So that's why I say art is for the artist first, and then for other people second. And that's a bonus, honestly. There's things that I created 20 years ago that people still like, and I'm like, ugh. Like, I want to burn it because I've moved on to different things, but it's still, like, in their eyes, they really like it. And that's really cool. And that's a gift and a blessing, too. Another thing I want to point out, too, is art doesn't belong to the most talented people. It belongs to the people with the most passion about it, honestly. Most people spend their life assuming that they don't have what it takes to create, but I truly think that everybody has it in them. But for some people, it's just easier because maybe there's some wires that are different in our brains. But like, some people can visualize things easier than others. But like I said, art doesn't have to be making. Oh gosh, that's a goth problem right there. Catching my rings on my lace skirt. Art doesn't need to be creating stuff like this. I mean, anything can be art. I think the moral of the story is don't feel guilty about sharing your art. Don't feel guilty about creating art, especially online. This is the thing I've seen a lot. I read that on the app Threads a lot. And people are like, I don't want to show my art. I feel guilty showing it because the world is drowning. But art is the freaking life preserver for some people, not just the artists, for everybody. Take us away from all of this, even if it's for 15 seconds. When you look at somebody's art, you went, oh, that's really pretty. It just makes me sad that the goal of a lot of young artists now is how many likes you can get. You have to stop measuring yourself in what you can see. There's a lot to be said for things that are unseen. That's for sure. And don't judge yourself on how many likes somebody else has. Don't feel guilty about it. So now that the world is absolutely, seems to be like heading off the edge, you shouldn't wait to create art until you think you feel invincible, because you won't feel strong until you push yourself through uncomfortable uninvincible times. And creation helps you do that. I 1,000,000 gazillion times believe that. So share your art, share your stuff, share everything. Share your pictures, go enjoy life. And I and it doesn't mean you're cruel and you don't have any heart or you don't believe in humanity. It means that you want to see humanity continue, because we literally are going to be turning into creatures that don't blah 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 blah. Is that what you want? I didn't think so. Be defiant and show your art, because I guarantee you they're trying to take it away. They're trying to take away your creativity. They're trying to shrink your brain so it's this big, so you don't have to think for yourself. They want all the thinking done for you. And we don't know why. And we don't know who they are. We kind of know who they are. But you know what I mean. Jelly bean. This is an act of defiance and an act of rebellion. That's what I think. Yeah. So, if any of this made sense, let me know. These are my personal opinions. And this, especially when it comes to art, I will not be swayed with this, because I live passionately to create and to be creative and to have compassion and to understand what's really going on in the world and to do what I can. I don't go out and protest. I don't do things like that, but I do I've had small things happen where I've fought against fought against went against the grain, you know, to stand up for what I believe in, which in this case it was a group of an art place that was promoting an artist that paints young girls in positions and circumstances that an old man shouldn't be doing, and I refused to be a part of it. This was 20 years ago. But I stood up for myself and I said I didn't want to be around it. And I got shunned for it, and I got smeared for it, and all kinds of fun stuff, and I lost friends. But whatevs, I don't care. I mean, obviously I cared, but I care more about doing the right thing than being a part of a crowd, you know. So anyway, be defiant and show your art, stick up for your art, and also stick up for people that don't have a voice. And sometimes it's by little things like what I was saying. Every little thing changes the world. So that's a story that maybe I'll get into later. Oh God, it's freaking freezing in here. Sheesh. And I've got so many layers on. I've got 2 skirts on, and in a warm top and all my hair. I I don't even know if you could see it. My big old I got my big hair today. So I hope that this made sense. I think I said that already. But yeah, this one was kind of heavy, man. Heavy, man. So, but join me next week. I hope this week goes good for you. Um, hang on. Tell me what makes you happy and what comforts you when things are going nutsy cuckoo in the world. There has to be something. And if there's not, don't feel guilty about whatever regulates your emotions. I hope you have a good week. And remember, everything is always working out for you. Everything is always working out for you. Everything is always working out for you. That's the mantra. That's the mantra you need to say. Change the tape from nothing works out for me to everything is always working out for me, even if it makes you look cray cray. And I'll see you next week. Here comes my ride. Can you hear it? It's a fire truck. That's my old joke. And stay tuned on Friday for a funny portrait without looking. And I just got another sale. That's awesome. Thank you. And see, that's another thing I do. I say thank you to I don't know what. Oh, my boots. I like these ones a lot. There's something hanging off of it. What is that? It's a spider? Oh, great. I have to show you Mrs. Kenny Rogers. If you follow me for a while, I still have Mrs. Kenny Rogers. I'm going to have a whole segment about bugs one time. And I'll probably have to put a disclaimer up so people don't get grossed out. Because I might have to show you. I still have Mrs. Kenny Rogers. She's in my cabinet. Mrs. Kenny Rogers. Let's have a moment of silence for Mrs. Kenny Rogers. All right. I'm really going because I'm freezing. Absolutely freezing out here. I should have brought the little heater. So, share your art. Share your art. Share your art. Share it. Share it. Don't feel guilty about sharing your art. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. I mean, of course, like, if you see a car accident and somebody's like this, don't run over and say, look at this cool piece of art I just drew. Because that would be the wrong time. That. Oh my gosh. Okay. See ya.